Changing the subject of a formula is the same as solving an equation, only we need to subtract letters from both sides, add letters from both sides, and so on. It's exactly the same, we just do to letters what we would have done to numbers. To illustrate this, let's have a look at an example of solving an equation and alongside it making x the subject of a formula. We have 2x plus 4 equals 8 on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we have this equation ax plus b equals c. Because it only involves letters, we probably call it a formula. To solve the first equation, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. In the formula, we could subtract b from both sides. In the equation, I'm now going to divide both sides by 2 to get x on its own, which will give me an answer of x equals 4 over 2, which is 2. In the formula, we first subtract b from both sides, leaving us with ax equals c take away b. Because c and b are different letters, I cannot simplify the left-hand side anymore. To get x on its own, I now need to divide both sides by a, which will leave me with an answer of x equals c minus b over a, and I cannot simplify that any further. I have now made x the subject of the formula. Here's another example. If I were to solve this equation, I would first subtract 2 from both sides, which would leave me with 3x over 4 equals 6. I could then multiply both sides by 4, which would leave me with 3x is equal to 24. And finally, I would divide both sides by 3, giving me x equals 8. In the example on the right-hand side, I would first subtract c from both sides, giving me ax over b equals d minus c. I would multiply both sides by b to get rid of the b on the bottom of the left-hand side. This leaves me with ax equals b times d minus c. And finally, I would divide both sides by a to get x on its own, which would leave me with a final answer of x equals b times d minus c in a bracket all over a. Here are some quick questions for you to try. I would like you to make x the subject of these formulae. When you're ready for the answers, press play. Here are the answers. Depending on how you found those questions, have a go at these questions. If you struggled, just try the first column. If you found them fairly straightforward but made a few mistakes, have a go at the second column. And if you found them really easy, you could try the third column, the challenge questions. Please make a start with the questions now. When you're ready for the answers, press play. Here are the answers.